So today we celebrate the queenship of the Blessed Virgin Mary a week after the Assumption of Mary into heaven. I'm not sure, I'd have to look at the history, but I'm not sure why the Assumption of Mary into heaven is not only a solemnity but a holy day of obligation when it doesn't fall on a Monday or a Saturday. But the queenship of Mary, where she is crowned Queen of heaven and earth, where the authority of God given to her and the fullness of her reward is given, that we just sell it as an memorial, an optional memorial. But in any case, here we are. And so I chose to do just the reading for the day, for the first reading, because it spoke to me just very much of what we can say of Mary. We ought to thank God always for you, Blessed Virgin Mary, if we can throw that in, as is fitting, because your faith flourishes evermore. And the love you have for one another grows ever greater. Accordingly, we ourselves boast of you in the churches of God, regarding your endurance in the faith in all your persecutions and the afflictions you endure. As I read that, I said, well, that's Mary. Right there. All she endured, the afflictions that she endured, not the least of which, of course, was having her heart pierced with a sword as she was at the foot of the cross, watching her son die, watching her God die. And yet, we can boast of Mary because of her endurance in faith in that moment. So today, as we look at the queenship of Mary, I was thinking about how she is both queen and mother, but she's queen because she is mother. She's queen because she is mother. Because when you look at the ancient Israelites, in their royal thrones and the majesty, you know, some of the kings, not always example to follow, but some of the kings had multiple wives and even concubines and all sorts of stuff. Like Solomon had just, hundreds. It was huge. Not exactly a pillar of virtue there. But in any case, when we look at him, who had authority? Who was the queen? Well, which one of his wives had the authority? Well, none of them. It was his mother, Bathsheba. We look at Bathsheba's authority with David. Well, she could approach the king, but he didn't defer to her. But as soon as she became the queen mother, she sat next to Solomon. Solomon deferred to her. That the queen mother held a very special role in the royal house, a house of David. And we look and we see Mary as mother of the true king, the true Messiah. She holds this role as queen. She holds this role as queen where she has been given, not by her own nature, but been given authority over heaven and earth. It's a beautiful thing when you talk to exorcists and the like, and they talk about how the difference between working with, for instance, St. Michael and working with Mary. When they call on St. Michael to drive out demons, he comes with his sword, as it were, but with authority and power, and drives out the demons in battle. When they call on Mary, just her very presence, by her humility, by her complete trust in Almighty God, the demons can't stand it and they flee from her. Not because she's fighting them, but just because she's there. And we look and we see Mary can do this in our lives too, can draw us into the heart of Jesus. She's been given authority over heaven and earth, and so we can trust that she will take care of us if we but fly to her. This day, as we celebrate the coronation of Mary as Queen of heaven and earth, may we ask her as our mother, as our queen, to come to lead us, to help us to grow in holiness, to endure our exile bravely, to endure our struggles, our our persecutions, our afflictions, with great endurance and with faith, so that we may be able to get so close to the heart of her Son, Jesus.